every year the Pandavas grew. Duryodhana's jealousy grew with them. Bhima's strength, Arjuna's bow, each new feat another log on the fire. And now the fire had counsellors. Karna, bound to him by gratitude, and Shakuni, his mother's brother, a man whose mind moved like a dice throw, crooked and exact. And what of the king? Dhritarashtra was wise enough, and in his way he loved his brother's sons. But his will was soft clay, and his love for his own children was the hand that shaped it. For their sake, he could talk himself into anything, even knowingly into wrong. Remember this about him. It explains almost everything that follows. Again and again, Duryodhana reached for the Pandavas' lives. A scheme here, a trap there, and again the blows landed on empty air. The brothers had an unseen shield. Vidura, quietly redirecting danger before it arrived, not for love of intrigue, but to save the family from an unforgivable sin. But the offence Duryodhana could least forgive required no plotting at all. It was talk. In the markets, at the wells, on the palace steps, the people of Hastinapura said openly what they believed. Yudhishthira alone is fit to be king. Crown him. The blind cannot rule. The vow-bound will not give us the son of Pandu. Every word of that street talk fell into Duryodhana's ears like drops of molten lead. He heard it walking, eating, trying to sleep. Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira, until jealousy stopped being a feeling he had and became the thing he was. A man can live with an enemy. It is praise of the enemy that unhinges him. He took his agony to his father. The citizens babbled treason. He cried, "No respect for you, none for Bhishma. They want Yudhishthira crowned now. Father, do you understand what that means for us? You were passed over once for blindness. Must your sons now be passed over for nothing at all?" And he pressed the wound deeper. After Yudhishthira, his son will rule, then his son's son, and on forever? While we shrink into poor relations, waiting at their table for our food. I tell you, Father, hell itself would be kinder than that future. The old king sat in his darkness and listened to his firstborn weep. Dhritarashtra answered honestly. The last honest thing he would say for a while. What you say is true, my son. And yet, Yudhishthira walks in virtue. He has his father's whole nobility. The people worship him. The ministers and generals loved Pandu and will stand by his son. That is not a wall we can break. Move against them unjustly. The king went on, and the citizens will rise. They will kill us or drive us out, and history will remember us with contempt. He was right about all of it. Hold on to that. Dhritarashtra saw the cliff clearly, named it aloud, and was talked over it anyway. Your fears are phantoms. Duryodhana shot back, and he counted his pieces like a general. Bhishma will stay neutral at worst. Aswathama is mine. Where the son is, there stand the father Drona and the uncle Kripa. Vidura is powerless alone. Father, send the Pandavas away to Varanavata. My suffering is full. I cannot sleep. I cannot live like this. Just for a while, he pressed. Let them see the festival. Let the city cool its love for them. And once our grip on the kingdom is firm, why? Perhaps they can even come back. Every tyrant's plan sounds temporary at the start. The old king said, neither yes nor no. And Duryodhana knew he was halfway there. While the father wavered, the son worked. Gold moved quietly into the right hands. Honors fell on the right shoulders. One by one, the king's attendants and ministers found excellent reasons to see things Duryodhana's way. By the time the court next assembled, its voice had been purchased in advance. The bought voices needed a leader, and they found one in Kanika, Shakuni's own minister, a man with a philosophy to match his master. "O king," he purred, "guard yourself against the sons of Pandu. Their goodness is precisely the danger, and the nearer the kin, the deadlier the threat." His doctrine unrolled like a dark scripture. A king's strength must be seen to be believed. Keep your plans secret. Let the public's first news of a scheme be its execution, and pluck out evils early. A thorn left in the flesh festers. A spark neglected becomes a forest fire. And then the doctrine arrived at its destination. A strong enemy is not to be fought. Kanika said, he is to be destroyed by stratagem, and mercy toward him is folly. Guard yourself, O king. The sons of Pandu are very strong. In the hush of the hall, no one asked the obvious question. Since when are a brother's children the enemy? Duryodhana returned to his father with the ledger of his success. The attendants are ours, bought with wealth and honors. The ministers are ours. Send the Pandavas to Varanavata, and they will not have one friend left in this city. Once the kingdom is settled in our hands, what harm can they ever do us again? And Dhritarashtra? When enough voices repeat what a man secretly wishes to hear, he calls it wisdom. The king's scruples, so clear-sighted a week before, dissolved into his son's chorus. He yielded. The plot now lacked only one thing, its execution. And that had already been assigned. The performance began. Ministers, in the Pandavas' hearing, fell to praising Varanavata, the loveliest town in the kingdom, and just now preparing its great festival of Siva. Such processions, such splendor. Really, the princess ought to see it. The brothers listened with polite interest, suspecting nothing. Why would they? It was only talk of a festival. Then the king himself set the hook, in tones of purest fatherly warmth. Go, my sons. See the festivities. Let the good people of Varanavata welcome you. They are so eager for it. It was affection's voice reading treachery's script. And because the Pandavas honored their uncle, they bowed and thanked him and agreed to go. So the 5 brothers and Kunti made ready, and the city, knowing nothing, buzzed happily about festivals. Only a few faces watched the preparations with private satisfaction, and one with growing unease. Vidura had seen the minister's sudden poetry about Varanavata, and men like Vidura do not believe in coincidences. The Pandavas took leave of Bhishma and the elders and rolled out for Varanavata, and behind them, Duryodhana finally allowed himself to smile. That night he sat late with Karna and Shakuni, and a minister named Purochana was summoned to the lamplit room. What passed there was brief. Purochana bowed, swore himself to it faithfully, and rode out before dawn, ahead of the Pandavas. In Varanavata, Purochana built a welcome. A palace rose for the princess, gracious, airy, beautiful, and every beam of it a lie. Lac and jute in the walls, ghee and oil worked into the plaster, fat-soaked thatch, dry tinder packed into the hollows. The most inviting beds placed, with real care, at the points that would burn fastest. The plan was patience itself. Let the princess settle in, let the town see them happy. Then, one windless night while they slept, a single lamp overturned. A tragedy. An accident. Who would ever blame the Kauravas? The Pandavas were already on the road, riding toward their welcome.